Do you ever dream of getting rich quick? Imagine waking up one day, and instead of having to trudge to work, you're lounging on a yacht, sipping on your favorite beverage, and basking in the sun's warm glow. The appeal of such a fantasy is undeniable. It's the allure of financial freedom, the sparkle of luxury, the tantalizing notion of escaping the daily grind and the burdensome weight of financial stress. Who wouldn't want to trade their 9-to-5 for a life of lavishness and leisure? Or to have the financial capacity to provide for their loved ones without worry? These are the emotions and desires that make the concept of getting rich quick so attractive. They fan the flames of our deepest wishes and paint a picture of a life we yearn for. But is getting rich quick as easy as it seems? Let's delve deeper and find out. Let's delve into some popular get-rich-quick schemes you might have heard of. First off, let's talk about Ponzi schemes, named after Charles Ponzi, who in the early 20th century lured investors by promising them outrageous returns. Here's the trick though, he was paying old investors using the money from new investors. It's a classic case of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And it all seems hunky-dory until there are no new investors to rob, and the whole scheme collapses like a house of cards. Next up, pyramid schemes. These are a little more interactive. You're not just investing, you're actively recruiting others to invest under you. The more people you recruit, the more money you make. Sounds like a fun game, right? Wrong. The problem is, there's a finite number of people in the world, and eventually, you run out of recruits. When that happens, the pyramid crumbles, and everyone except the few at the top lose their money. Finally, let's talk about the new kid on the block, cryptocurrency scams. With the rise of digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, scammers have found a new playground. They might promise you a guaranteed return if you invest in their revolutionary new coin. But remember, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, and investing in them should be done with caution and proper research. These schemes all have a common thread running through them. They make grand promises of fast and easy wealth, but in reality they rely on an ever-increasing flow of money from new participants. And when that flow dries up, so does your investment. These schemes also exploit our human tendency to be attracted by the idea of effortless riches. But it's important to remember that real wealth is typically the result of hard work, smart choices, and patience. Sounds too good to be true, right? That's because it usually is. So why don't these get-rich-quick schemes work, you might ask? Well, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of it all. Firstly, these schemes lack sustainability. They're often built on shaky foundations. Think of it as a house of cards. It might look impressive at first glance, but one small disturbance and the entire structure crumbles. These schemes rely heavily on a continuous influx of new participants to fuel their payouts. When the influx slows or stops, the scheme collapses, leaving those at the bottom with significant financial losses. Legal issues are another major downside. More often than not, these get-rich-quick strategies are not just unethical, but downright illegal. They often involve some form of deception or fraud. This could range from misrepresentation of product effectiveness to pyramid schemes, which are illegal in many places around the world. Getting caught up in these could lead to serious legal consequences, tarnishing your reputation and potentially leading to hefty fines or even jail time. Lastly, and most importantly, the financial damage that can result from these schemes is profound. Participants are often lured in by the promise of easy money, only to find themselves in a worse financial situation than when they started. They're left with empty pockets, a sense of betrayal, and a sour taste in their mouth about financial ventures. But you might wonder, if these schemes are so bad, why do people keep falling for them? Well, that's because they're often packaged in a way that makes them seem legitimate and enticing. They prey on people's dreams and aspirations, offering a quick fix to financial freedom. However, the reality is far from the promise. In the end, the only ones getting rich quick are the scammers themselves. They're the puppet masters, manipulating the strings and watching as their puppets dance to their tune, all the while filling their pockets with the hard-earned money of their unsuspecting victims. So before you jump into the next get-rich-quick opportunity that comes your way, remember to do your due diligence. Because as the old saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if these schemes don't work, what does? You might ask. Well, the answer lies in something much less flashy but infinitely more effective: responsible financial planning. Responsible financial planning might not sound as exciting as a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's the real deal. It's not about overnight success or instant riches, but about taking consistent, well-informed steps towards a secure financial future. Let's break it down. Responsible financial planning comprises three main pillars: saving, investing wisely, and planning for the future. Firstly, saving. It's the cornerstone of financial security. It's about setting aside a portion of your income, no matter how small, to build a safety net. It's about resisting the temptation to spend everything you earn and instead nurturing a habit of saving. Next, investing wisely. This is where your money starts working for you. It's not about putting all your eggs in one basket or chasing the latest stock market trend. Rather, it's about diversifying your investments, understanding the risks, and making informed decisions. And remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to see the fruits of your investments. Lastly, planning for the future. This is about setting financial goals and creating a roadmap to achieve them. Whether it's buying a car, going to college, or retiring comfortably, planning for the future is about making those dreams a reality. It's about taking control of your financial destiny and shaping it according to your aspirations. In a world that often promises instant gratification, responsible financial planning might seem like a long and winding road. But remember, it's this road that leads to genuine financial freedom. It's this road that empowers you to make informed financial decisions. It's this road that equips you with the tools to weather financial storms. So don't be swayed by the allure of get-rich-quick schemes. Embrace the power of responsible financial planning. Because at the end of the day, it's not about getting rich quick, but about building wealth that lasts. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. You might be thinking, that sounds great, but where do I start? Well, fret not. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and in financial planning, that first step is setting a budget. This isn't as daunting as it sounds. Start by jotting down your income and expenses. Then, decide how much of your income you want to save. A good rule of thumb is the 50-30-20 rule. This means that 50% of your income goes to necessities, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings. But remember, this isn't a one-size-fits-all rule. Feel free to adapt it to your personal financial situation. Next, consider starting a savings account. This is not just a place to stash your cash, but a tool to grow your wealth. Look for a savings account with a high interest rate. Even a small difference in interest can add up over time, turning your modest savings into a sizable nest egg. And don't worry if you're only able to save a small amount at first. The key is consistency. Now you've got a budget and a savings account. What's next? It's time to learn about investing. Investing can seem like a complex and risky business, but it doesn't have to be. Start by educating yourself. Read books, attend seminars, or take online courses. Understanding the basics can help you make informed decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Remember, the goal of investing isn't to get rich quick, but to grow your wealth steadily over time. Finally, don't be afraid to seek help. Financial planning can be tricky, and it's okay to ask for assistance. Consider consulting with a financial advisor or using financial planning software. These resources can provide valuable guidance and help you stay on track. To wrap it up, responsible financial planning involves setting a budget, starting a savings account, learning about investing, and seeking help when needed. It might seem challenging at first, but with time and practice, you'll become a pro. It's never too early or too late to start planning for your financial future. So, what have we learned today? We've journeyed through the glittering allure of quick riches, dissected some popular get-rich-quick schemes, and unveiled the harsh truths behind them. These schemes, as tempting as they may seem, often come with high risks and can potentially lead to financial downfall. The golden rule to remember here is, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We've also explored the power of responsible financial planning, an approach that may not promise overnight riches, but certainly offers a more sustainable path to financial freedom. It's about saving, investing wisely, and living within your means. It's about making informed decisions, understanding your financial situation, and setting realistic goals. So as we wrap this up, let's remind ourselves of the real secret to wealth. It's not found in the glittering promises of get-rich-quick schemes, but in the steady, consistent practice of responsible financial planning. Remember, the key to financial freedom isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, it's responsible financial planning.